Dart School presents Division 3. Recall that the keyword for division is quotient and it relates to all situations involving equal sharing. In this video, we are going to do a few division problems in the conventional long division method, the one that you learn in your school. Let's say you want to divide 48 with 3. You write down the number 48 under the division sign and the 3 outside and try and divide the leftmost digit on the dividend with the divisor. If the dividend is not a multiple of the divisor, which means the divisor times nothing is going to give you the dividend or the leftmost digit on the dividend, try and get as close to it as you can without going over it. So 3 times 1 is 3, but 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 goes over 4. So you want to do a 3 times 1. Write the 1 on the top, multiply the divisor with the number that you wrote down on the top, that's 3. Write it below the number that you divided. Subtract 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring down the next digit from the dividend. This becomes a 18. Divide this new number that you have with the divisor. 18 divided by 3 is 6 because 3 times 6 is 18. Multiply the digit that you wrote down on the top with the divisor. 6 times 3, that's 18. And then subtract. There's nothing left over. And then there's no digit on the dividend after this 8 that you could bring down. So that brings you to the end of this problem. The answer is 16, or the quotient is 16, and the remainder is 0. If you want to check if you got it right, multiply the quotient with the divisor. That should give you the dividend if there is no remainder. Let's try and divide 156 with 4. The leftmost digit on the dividend is 1, but 4 is more than 1. So what you do? You take the first 2 digits. Try and divide 15 with 4. 4 times nothing is going to give you 15. But 4 times 3 is 12 and 4 times 4 is 16. That goes over 15. So you don't want to do a 4 times 4. You want to do a 4 times 3. Write a 3 on the top. Multiply 4 with 3. Get a 12 down. Subtract. 15 minus 12 is 3. Bring the 6 down. That becomes a 36. And do the same steps again. Divide 36 with 4. 4 times 9 is 36. Multiply the digit that you wrote down on the top with the divisor. 9 times 4 is 36. Subtract. You have a 0. And there's no digit to bring down. And if you multiply 39 with 4, you get 156. So that's the right answer. We say 156 divided by 4 is equal to 39. So this is equal to 16, the first problem. And you write 156 divided with 4 is equal to 39. Let's try and divide 450 with 5. 4 is less than 5, so you cannot do the division. Take the first 2 digits. 45 divided by 5 is 9. Write a 9 on the top above the 5, above the last digit on the dividend that you divided. Multiply 5 times 9 is 45. Write it down. Subtract. 45 minus 45 is 0. But hang on, this is not the end of the problem. Obviously, 450 divided by 5 is not 9 because you still have a 0 over here. Bring it down. And once you bring it down, you got to do the division anyways, even if it's a 0. So you want to find out 5 times what is going to get you as close to 0 as possible without getting over it. And the answer is simple. 5 times 0 is 0. So you multiply this 0, the digit that you wrote down at the top, with 5, you get a 0. Looks silly, I know, but this step is important. You have to have a 90 at the top, not a 9. And then you could say, okay, there's no remainder, 0 minus 0 of course is 0, and there's nothing to bring down, so I have come to the end of my problem. So I would say 450 divided by 5 is equal to 90. And like I said, this 0 and this step was so important, because if you didn't bring it down, you would have just got a 9, and that would be wrong. After all, 5 times 90 is 450, not 5 times 9. Now how about trying to divide, let's say, 136 with 6? 6 cannot divide 1. Let's divide 13 with 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Subtract. 13 minus 12 is 1. Bring down the 6. This becomes a 16. Now 6 times 2 is 12 and 6 times 3 is 18. Therefore you want to write a 2 at the top. Multiply 6 with this 2. You get a 12. Subtract. You have a 4. And then you have nothing to bring down, even though this number is not a 0. So this is what you call a remainder or a leftover in a division problem. The quotient or the answer is at the top, and this is the remainder. It's like saying 136 chocolates divided into 6 bags equally will have 22 chocolates in each one of the 6 bags, and then in the end there will be 4 chocolates left over. You cannot use them because 4 is less than 6. That will no longer be equal division if you put these 4 chocolates in the bags, in 4 of the bags. And then to verify your answer, if you got it right, in a division problem with a remainder, you multiply the divisor with the quotient and then add the remainder. So you do 6 times 22 plus 4, and that should give you the dividend. 6 times 22 is 132 plus 4 is indeed equal to 136. So we got this right. That's the process of long division.